don't know me, I'm Kelly. I'm the plant-based kitchenista, so welcome. We do these classes about every 2 weeks. We are plant-based, no oil. So we're always showing you guys how to do things without oil. I know that's usually when I do classes when we were doing them face-to-face, that was the biggest discussion. It wasn't so much of giving up eggs or, cheese was another one in there a little bit, but the oil was the hardest, it seemed to be. So we always talk about that if you're gonna saute with things or add things in, so if it says like a sesame oil, just toast up some sesame seeds, but we'll always talk about replacements. But if you're just gonna saute, of course, you're gonna do vegetable broth or stock, water, or white wine for like tomato sauces and that type of thing. So that's what we usually do. Just it's more, for the health reasons, but it's also for just longevity of life and being happy, healthy, and longevity, life, all those type of things. So, but we definitely, it's with Jerry, and he'll tell a story just a little bit. But it's all about having some health issues and really looking at the body and figuring out what you could do versus spending. I work in healthcare, so I know what it's like, and I can see people coming in with, big bags, gallon bags of medications, and that's not something we want to do, and I'm sure most of you guys don't either. It's like the last thing I want to do is take one medication and it has a, effect with another medication, and then you end up with something else, and it just seems like that once you're in that healthcare system, like I said, I'll work for them, but I don't want to be in them, then it just keeps happening. It's like you get symptoms for something else, and the next thing happens, and they discover something else, and so we want to definitely be like that, healthy, strong, and things like that for the rest of our lives as much as we can, and whatever that's going to be. So that's what this is all about. So just sharing, and we always talk about too, if you're looking for, any type of recipes or substitutions, feel free to use chat and ask all kinds of questions and that, because I'll tell you any substitutions I know. And there's a lot of times somebody will say, ooh, don't like mushrooms or don't like eggplant. So just feel free to put it in chat, and we will definitely make sure that we offer as many substitutions as we can. So you can eat the same meal, but have it just a little bit different and more to your preferences. So like I said earlier, just this is all about community. So sharing recipes, sharing, tips and tricks, sharing whatever we are trying to do and stuff. We're just trying to be that community for everybody that's out there. So no classes yet face-to-face. It's still, with the variants and things like that that's happening. They haven't opened up anything, so we're just kind of staying low-key, staying on Zoom. And I think even if we start opening up and start doing classes in 6 months or 4 months, whatever that looks like, don't know, then we'll still stay on Zoom just because we love our community, so always want to help. So with that, I think Jerry's at a point now that he can go ahead and come on up and introduce himself, because he's the man behind the camera. And as he'll say, is the man that eats all the food behind the camera too. So.
Yep, I'm the lucky one. Hi, I'm Jerry Couscous, for those who don't know me. Plant-based nutritionist. I've been in private practice now for 10 years, hard to believe. And we've been plant-based now 15 years, over 15 years. And I did it for health reasons of my own, heart disease, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all the meds that when you get a little older, you get those, but not necessary with the whole food plant-based diet. I'm off all meds, 35 pounds lighter, and everything's good. So we're just trying to educate about a whole food plant-based diet and all the benefits. Chat window, if you have any questions about nutrition, I'll be glad to answer. Yeah, I definitely went and saw Dr. John McDougall, because I am a certified instructor for his Starch Solution program. So if you have any questions about starches, which aren't all bad, potatoes are good, but there's a lot of information out there, obviously. So we're just trying to get people the right information to stay healthy. And also in the chat window, I'm going to post. We're having artichokes. We have artichokes. Right?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh. And I'll post the nutritional profile of artichokes. They're very healthy, a lot of vitamins and minerals, high in fiber, good protein, antioxidants. So just good information about that, because people don't really think about artichokes as healthy, but they're very healthy. So I'll post that in the chat window now so we can look at that. But any questions, let me know. But I'm here just to eat the food. Thanks.
Yeah, so one of the things, they're very healthy unless you, of course, get them where they're packed in oil. Oops, let me just get this. Yeah, so everything that we do is in water. Okay, I'm obviously not too coordinated today, so let me just get this on before there we go. Okay, so yeah, so everything that we do, so I'm going to show you like the artichokes, you can get them in cans or jars, and of course you can get them all packed in water. You could also make your own if you wanted to, do the whole steaming process with artichokes, and those are really fun to do. And then as far as the hearts of palm, they're also the same thing. They're all in water. So make sure that when you're looking for it, I would say 10 years ago, it was probably really difficult to find those type of things, but now these days, it's like almost everything you want is packed in water. Or once in a while, they'll put it into like a brine. So like jackfruit will be in a brine or something. But easy to find more. 10, 15 years ago, hard to find these type of ingredients, and you had to do a lot of cooking and chopping and things like that to make your own. So perfect. Jerry just posted the information, so that's on there. So we are going to be making plant-based lobster rolls. And I know that's a really popular thing back east. And then we're going to do a plant-based couscous salad. So like I was saying a little bit earlier when you first started, when you guys first started joining and stuff, we're definitely not going to be, we don't have the induction burner here, heating up things, those type of things. This is all pretty much, you just make it like raw, good, put it together fast, keep it in the fridge and eat it over the weekend. That's what's nice about these recipes. So easy to do. And that's what we try to do too, is keep things easy. I have recipes for like meatloaf and cheese sauces and things like that take a little bit longer. And if you ever want any of those, let me know. We probably have a video also on YouTube that shows the process. But happy to share, happy to do that. The other thing that I've been talking to Chef AJ, who love Chef AJ. I know everybody who knows Chef AJ loves Chef AJ. And so we're teams chatting back and forth about how to get a cookbook going for me. So I've got the one that's very old. So it's probably, I don't know, 6 years old, probably, Jerry. And it's time now. I have thousands of pictures and thousands of recipes. So figuring out what that's going to look like, probably going to be a self-publishing, trying to look at like who's the best person to self-publish with. If anybody has any ideas, let me know. But definitely looking for one with pictures, and because pictures, tell the story. I mean, when you look at it, you're like, ooh, that looks good, and then you want to make it. So trying to get all that put together and start organizing that. So can't wait. It's going to be a feat in itself, but it'll be fun. All right, so the plant-based lobster rolls, and like I said, ask questions all along the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start it like in a, I didn't have a medium bowl, so this is more of a larger bowl, so I don't really need something this big. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the mayo. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the mayo. I actually made mock tuna salad earlier this week, and it's one of Jerry's favorite dishes, and I usually use like 2 cans of garbanzo beans.
What's going on?
Go ahead and, okay. 2 cans of garbanzo beans. And so what we'll do, the mayo, and with this one that I made, I actually, instead of just doing a plain mayo, I added Dijon mustard to it, and then I actually added harissa. So harissa is like roasted red peppers, and it's got just a little bit of spice, but not much. But it's, you can tell the color is just like a little pink, kind of a pinky flesh color a little bit. And it just made, just like when you're making that, like a mock tuna salad or something with mayo, it's just really good about adding some different flavors. So you can actually, make your mock tuna salad a little spicy, very mellow, more mustardy, whatever you want to do. So, so to make it, I noticed some stuff that I didn't have it on here, but to make it is just silken tofu. So this is a really good silken tofu that you can get in most natural grocers type of stores. What I really like about it, it's shelf safe. So it comes in these little containers like this, and you can put it in your pantry. So instead of taking up all of your, your refrigerator space and taking up, because we love our refrigerators, and and if you're living in an apartment or something like that, you've got small refrigerators, so you can put this on the shelf, and it keeps. I mean, I probably use them more than than within 6 months and stuff, but you could keep them for a long time. It actually gives you dates of when it says that it's good by. But like this one's good by 2023, so February 25th, 2023, which it'll be gone by then. So this one is Mori New. You can buy it in the stores. If you can't find it in your stores, you can actually order it on Amazon. So I always get the extra firm, just because I like how things hold together. So Mori New, and I'll kind of slide it over a little bit so Jerry can type the name on it. But that one's a really good one. So all I do is just in a food processor, blender, or if you're really good and you've got good muscle arms, you could use a whisk. You put that in. So I'll just say if it's in a blender, put it in the blender. Then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, because you want a little bit of that vinegar flavor with a mayo, and it's more like a regular mayo versus a Miracle Whip. I grew up on Miracle Whip, Kansas. I'll admit that. And then if you want to add like some Dijon mustard to it, because it gives that little bit of kind of that pucker power, which I really like with Dijon, you can add that in there. And then that's when you would add either some salt and pepper, and you mix it up and it's ready to go. So I usually keep it in these little mason jars when I have extra. And like I said, this one's all ready to go, and it has the harissa. So that's what we're going to use for our plant-based lobster rolls. But if you do need the mayo recipe, sour cream recipe, any of that, just type it in. Just send us your email address on there, or just send me an email, Kelley@Plant-Based-Kitchen, and then I will send that over to you and make sure you get that. All right, so we got 2 tablespoons plant-based mayo. And you'll notice that every once in a while, it's just a little bit of liquid, but that's just the liquid that comes with the tofu, the silken tofu. So just stir it up, and then it gets, it's just a really nice creamy. So I'm just gonna kind of put it out a little bit like this. How long do you think it would last? So that's a great question. So when I do it in a mason jar like this, I use the plastic lids. So all of my mason jars now, I've switched out with plastic lids, and you can get them, they're pretty inexpensive now, and you can get colors and all that, which makes your refrigerator really pretty. If you do the plastic lid, well, let me put this step back. If you do the metal lid, it tends to oxidize around the edges, and it makes, it'll tint like it'll taste almost like aluminum in your mayo. So you definitely don't want to do that. So get plastic lids. And then I've had it last for probably 2.5, 3 weeks. You'll know when you open it up, and this is when you'll know it's going to be like, it's time to switch it out. But it'll be real watery, and then it almost gets like, this just smells really clean. It's and it smells just like a little bit of spiced tofu. It will smell a little vinegary, not a little, but quite a bit vinegary. That's when you know you need to toss it out and start some new vinegar or some new mayo. So usually about 2.5, 3 weeks. But most of the time when I make like mock tuna salad or something like that, I'll put it into the mock tuna salad. But then Jerry will he'll toast up some bread, use this on the bread. We'll use it on burgers, all kinds of different things, and it goes away. So, but yeah, that's about as long as it lasts. I have frozen it because I know somebody asked me that one time. I froze it one time just to test it. The only problem was with silken tofu and tofu when you especially the silken stuff, when you freeze it, you're going to have to really whisk it up. I mean, really, really whisk it up to get it creamy. Otherwise, it kind of stays like almost chunky, like it goes back into the tofu type of stage. So it's not as good either. I'm kind of like, not my favorite. So I just usually make it up fresh whenever I need it. All right, so then we're going to add some more Dijon. Let's grab this. So we've got 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon. I love Dijon, love the flavor of it, but I like any mustard. I like any of the flavors of mustard. Yellow mustard, I've made dressings before where it's like a yellow mustard, stone ground mustard, Dijon mustard, and then some other flavors and things with it just to have a mustard dressing. Big mustard fan. Jerry's a big mustard fan too. All right, and then we've got a vinegar-based hot sauce. So just, you can do your Tabasco, your Chula, all the different hot sauces. Louisiana, I think, is out there. So we're just adding a little bit in that. That is completely optional. It's usually you'll see in the lobster-based rolls they add some type of a spice, but if you don't want it, don't add it. So I just add a little bit in. And I always talk about too when I talk about spices or like the vinegar-based hot sauces or any of those type of things, start low. So if I say a teaspoon of lemon juice, start like 1/8 of a teaspoon. And then put it in there, mix it up, and taste it. And then after you taste it, be like, ooh, I want some more of that, that pop of vinegar type of things and lemon, because lemon adds that freshness to it. So then just add a little bit more, and then mark your recipes and say, yep, I don't want a teaspoon, but I want 1/2 teaspoon. So make sure you kind of do that and make the recipes your own. These are all flavored and tested through many, many different classes, but you may have a different flavor palette than I do, so always test it. So never go with all the spices on any recipe. Start slow, because you can always add, but you can't take away. So I don't want you throwing away stuff, especially after you've chopped it all, and if you've got everything all set up here and then you have to throw it away, that's not fun. All right, so teaspoon lemon juice. So this is all the umami. So you've got your sweet, your sour, all those type of the hot, all those type of flavors. So I just mixed it up a little bit. So it still looks just like the plant-based mayo, but it just has all the other flavors added in. Then I've got smoked paprika. My favorite, of course, it was in the fridge last night, is savory spice. I love savory spice here out of Denver because they grind everything at a warehouse on I-70, And then everything is always going to the stores fresh. But you can also order them and they ship it everywhere. And they're just really good. And what I like about them is that, like in the jars, oops, I about dropped one. So in the jars and stuff, you could buy the jar with a nice label on it. So it says savory spice. And then what you can do then is you order like the packs. So like this one here was probably $6, $7. And then what I do is I will, depending on when it starts getting low, you can get like 2 cups, 1 cup, that, and you can actually order this and have it shipped in, or you can have it, just when you go buy it at the store, and then you refill your jars. And so normally you spent $7 for this jar and you use it up, and then when you turn around and get ready to refill it, it actually will only cost you probably $2.50, $3. So just keep refilling your jars, and then that way you always have your spices on hand, which I love. Okay, so smoked paprika. And I love, my favorite one is this one, sweet smoked Spanish paprika. It has like a really smoky flavor, and it just adds so much to everything that you're making. So I probably, even when it just says regular paprika, always use the sweet smoky, just because I like it. Like Spanish rice, all that, it's just really good. Okay, put that in there. All right, so sea salt. I don't cook with the sea salt because Jerry is very adverse to salt, and he can taste it. So what I do is I always just cook everything, and then I put salt on the table. So sea salt in there is completely optional, but do it to taste. I always, like when I did classes that were face-to-face, always had salt and pepper and stuff ready for everybody else. Okay, so that's all ready to go. And you can see it looks a little spicy, but it's really not, just because it has that smoked paprika. So taste-wise, it's nice. It is a little bit, because I put in the Louisiana-based hot sauce, so it's got a little bit of kick. Just that, but it's got the smoked paprika, so it's like smoky, a little bit of kick, and then it has your acids like your lemon and your what else did I put in, the Dijon mustard and all that. But it's really good, really smooth and nice taste to the tongue. Okay, so then artichoke hearts. So when you're doing lobster rolls, of course, you cut things up to where you have some big pieces, some little pieces. It's kind of doesn't follow the, make everything small diced or big diced or that, and make sure everything's perfect. You just want to just do a rough chop as much as you can. So then that way, when you see real regular lobster rolls on, like Guy Fieri's shows and things like that, they're chunky. So you can either make it as smooth as you want or as chunky as you want. But one of the recommendations, of course, is to make it chunky. So this is the lobster. So I've got the artichoke hearts, and then I have the hearts of palm. So I made the hearts of palm a little bit smaller. They have a very distinct taste. So some people will say, don't like them very much, little briny type of thing. And then I'll taste one here in a second and give you the flavor profile. And then the artichoke hearts. I mean, we love artichoke hearts. Another way that you could make this too is you could roast these up a little bit in the oven. And then you could add the hearts of palm and the artichoke hearts, or you could make it all artichoke hearts. And you could add some eggplant. You could add some other things. So there's all kinds of different ways to do it. When you get the artichoke hearts, first thing you're going to do, of course, is drain them. And then you're just going to chop them up. Every once in a while, the outside of the artichoke heart, you'll kind of start to cut it and it doesn't seem to cut. Just pull that off because it tends to be a little rubbery. So other than that, they're easy, real easy to cut up. Could you use jackfruit for this? Yes, you could. Yes, you sure could. So you could add like artichoke hearts and jackfruit, which would be really good. So that would be, it would look probably a little bit more like kind of like a pulled pork, because the jackfruit kind of shreds up a little bit, but it actually would be really good. Yeah, you could actually do that. All right. Okay, so artichoke hearts, dump them in. And the nice thing, like I said, is you used to only could find them in oil. You can find them in water all over the place. All right, so just add those in. And then the hearts of palm. So I brought the jar, or the can. So Napoleon is a really one. So hearts of palm, of course, is just like they're long sticks. So white long sticks like that. And this one here is hearts of palm whole. It's in water. There's hardly any calories, hardly the salt, all those kind of things like that is really low. So that's one of the brands and stuff that I usually, and to find them, you'll usually find them where you see the like spaghetti, like the marinara sauces, the spaghetti noodles, all those type of things is usually we'll find the hearts of palm. Sometimes you will find them in a jar. So, and those are usually with your peppers and your pickles and all that. So those are that. You just drain them and then just start chopping them up. So they taste, like I said, they're a little different. There's a little bit of like a vinegar, kind of a lemon vinegar. But other than that, there's not much else. But like I said, some people, when I've done them in classes and stuff, are like, not so much of a fan of hearts of palm, and other people love them. So there's many different things that you could switch out and add that into. Hearts of palm, what family? It's a really great question. And I know I was going to look that up. They're like artichokes, asparagus, that type of thing is what they're with. I don't use them. Let's put it this way. I don't use them a lot, but I use them if I'm going to make like the lobster rolls, or I'm going to make. I was just trying to think what. My brain's escaping me right now. Senior moment. Crab cakes. Yeah. So you're making plant-based crab cakes. Use a hearts of palm and then like the artichokes, and that's a really good mixture with the two of those. Yep, so Jerry just said they come from a handful of palm trees, but they definitely are very much like the delicate flavors like artichokes, asparagus, all that, but they give you that nice chunky kind of a chewy flavor. But like I said, you could use, like Mona was asking, you could use jackfruit, any of those type of things with it too. So drain them, chop them, dump them. And this is, if you think about this recipes that we're doing, these are really nice things that you could make up, and chop up the day before, get it all ready, all those type of things. So if you get ready to have like a party or people coming over, you could have it all ready and then just make it up right when everybody shows up, which is nice. Then we're going to add the celery. So just chopped up little celery, which is great. So it's almost, I was telling Jerry earlier, it's very similar to making like a mock tuna salad. So you're almost making like the same ingredients of a tuna salad, except no pickles, but close. All right, and then we've got the scallions. Love scallions. All right, and then parsley. So I'm not going to add the parsley in here. I'm not a big fan of parsley, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pea greens, so microgreens that are going to go on top, so they'll add that prettiness. So I'm going to get rid of this here. We don't need the whisk. Grab a nice spoon. And if you make this the day before too, you're going to have all those flavors that are going to soak into the artichoke hearts and the hearts of palm, which then makes it even better. Because like when I make like the mock tuna salad and the next day, it's even better. It's better. I like it. It's almost like having like spaghetti is always better the next day because everything marinates. So it's a really pretty dish. It's actually, once I get the bread going and things like that, you've got all these great flavors, and you could always add, if you want it more saucy, you could always add more mayo, more of your spices, all those type of things. But it's actually pretty good just with the recipe and stuff that I gave you here today. Okay. So that's what it looks like. And I'll do a little flavor taste. That's why we have all the spoons. That's good. It has, like I said, has the you get the kind of a little bit of the heat. You get the creaminess. You've got the scallions in there, which added a really nice flavor if you get one of the scallions. And then you've got the artichoke hearts, and that are really kind of like almost creamy too, and the hearts of palm and stuff. So really good. And then the celery, which gives you that nice crunch. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side. And then we're going to start making that. We're going to do the couscous salad. All right, so I'm going to put this here. I'm going to grab another bowl. Couscous. Couscous is not normally something that a lot of people use. I would say that if you go looking for it, you can find like Bob's Red Mill, which is, this guy is a genius for packing things and these type of packs and all those type of things. He's really good about it. You can do like a golden couscous, which is by Bob's Red Mill. There is like pearl couscous. Then there's like big bags of like, there's almost like a white couscous. This one's nice because it's like a nice kind of a smoked yellow. So really good and easy way to do it. If you don't have couscous, substitute out quinoa. You could substitute out millet. There's so many different things. But having something that's different, that's a different grain, it's kind of fun. So that couscous, Jerry, I would say is kind of like couscous, but he'll like it. So definitely a pasta. It's like a pasta type of when it cooks up, it's almost like eating a pasta, but it's not really big. It's really tiny. So I already did the couscous, easy to do. So to get this recipe going, so we basically did. It was 1.5 cups of vegetable broth, and the reason why I did vegetable broth versus water, and you could do water, is that just gives a little bit more of that flavor. So I just got that boiling up. Didn't add any salt to it or anything like that. And a lot of times it'll say add butter, add oil, add all that. You don't need to. And so then I got that boiling, and then I added the 3/4 cup of the couscous in here. And then I just let it boil for like probably 30 seconds. And then turned off the heat and then put a lid on it. And so you'll see that it's this beautiful couscous. It's almost like the same way that you would do quinoa. You get it boiling for a few minutes and then you turn it off and you get this beautiful, soaks up all the moisture, but beautiful soft couscous. And you can see it's not very big, but it is like a pasta. It eats more like a pasta versus the quinoa. But we actually, I'm going to try this and stuff, but we went to a restaurant probably, I don't know, about a month ago, and they have this salad that is there that they take the quinoa and, let me think about this, quinoa and almonds, and they chop it all up, and the almonds are a little bit bigger pieces and stuff, and they actually like dehydrate it and make it and roast it, and they put it on the salad. And it's like, I have got to make that and make it taste just like that, because nothing better than having, like when you're eating a salad, you got all these crunchy things in it. So more to come. So when I get that going and I get the flavors exactly how I want it and the dressing, we will be having it on this show, because quinoa and like that kind of crunchy is wonderful. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, so I'm gonna pull this off to the side because I wanna grab the dressing. So under the vinaigrette, you see the 2 tablespoons vegetable broth. So I don't have that in a little jar. I'm just gonna pour it out, just kind of measure it. If you don't have vegetable broth, vegetable stock, water will work. All right, then you got 2 tablespoons white wine vinegar. So I have that right here. Then we've got 1 tablespoon of agave or maple syrup. You could also, it's always nice to have those little spoons handy. If you don't have agave or maple syrup, you could do date paste. You could do like a monk fruit sweetener. If you don't want any sweet at all because you taste it, then don't add any. But that's an easy way to do that. All right, then we've got, here we go again, Dijon mustard. You notice there's a little bit of a theme. I'll just grab the same spoon. I could eat Dijon in anything. Love it. It's one of my favorites. All right, and then we've got a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. And then the zest of a lemon. So let me just scrape this off a little bit. All right, so pretty lemon. So this is going to be, you think about this, you've got tomatoes and cucumbers and all these wonderful type of vegetables and stuff that are in the, like summertime, especially like the Jerry and I have been eating a lot of tomatoes here lately just because they're beautiful and they're so sweet. They're so wonderful. And the cucumbers are great. I mean, everything's at that, that perfect stage. Red onions, like I said, I don't know if you guys have noticed that the red onions, they are like eye-watering crazy. They got a lot of like oomph to them. So, I don't know what it is lately. Don't know if they've been sitting in the fields too long, or I was going to look that up the other day, or the actual like semis that bring them over or something. But boy, the minute you chop into them, it's like instant watering of the eyes. So you can put this into a mason jar, shake it up, and get everything going. You could whisk it like this. You could put it into a blender. You could put it into your food processor, whatever you want to do. It pretty much, just because the only thing that's really like thick in there is your Dijon mustard, it breaks down pretty quick. So just doing a little bit of whisking without getting a mason jar dirty works well. Okay, so I'll just put that to the side. So taste. That's almost like, I'm trying to think of like the flavor. It's like you got the lemon, which I love. Like anything with lemon and stuff is really good, like lemon blueberry bars, all those type of things. But it's got a little bit of the sweetness in it, so it doesn't. So like the lemon's not making me pucker. It's got a little bit of the sweetness in it, and then it's got the white wine vinegar and all the other flavors. It's really good. This is really good. This would be one that probably this weekend I'll make up, and I'll probably put like I'll put some flax seeds in it, and then put it in the blender and make it thicker, and make it like where I have this to use for all kinds of other salads. It's that good. It's really, really good. The flavors are fabulous. Okay, so I got that going. So the salad, and then I'm going to turn on the broiler because I got the bread. So bread for the sandwich, Jerry went through, like, he likes to do the shopping for the classes. So he went to like 3 or 4 different stores, and it was hard. We were trying to find like almost like the like Subway or what am I trying to say, the like sandwich type of things. You know, when you get the sub sandwiches, that's what I was looking for, like Subway. But trying to look for those individually, couldn't find them. Couldn't even find the smaller ones. So we end up getting, especially when you're looking for things that doesn't have the oil and all those things. Even the like normal bread that we usually get didn't have any of this time. So sometimes you hit the stores and they're good. Sometimes you hit the stores, not so good. So we're going to use a baguette. So it's a wheat baguette. And we're actually going to, I'll end up when I get ready, I'll split it in half and cut it in half. And then we'll have 2 large, like 6-foot sandwiches, which is really cool. But I'm going to toast it up here in just a few minutes. All right, so the salad, let me grab the bowl again. So if you're following along, so we've done the couscous, we've done the vinaigrette. So we're going to add all the chopped vegetables in. So we've got cucumbers, nice chops, small dice. If you don't like cucumbers, you could actually substitute in, which would be really good, zucchini. So if you're looking more for, you're like I'm not a big fan of cucumbers. They don't like me, but so I could do like the yellow squash and the zucchini, which would be really pretty in here. Or you could do like, you know, eggplant. I mean, there's so many other vegetables you could add that you could make this just as wonderful. All right, you've got cherry tomatoes. Just make sure I don't dump everything. So regular cherry tomatoes all in half. And these are like these are organic. It's one of Jerry's favorites. They're really, really sweet right now, which is great. They were like what was it, organic on the vine, I think that what they were. So they're really good. All right. So you've got pretty already. So you've got the green, you've got the red, looks pretty. Then you've got the orange bell pepper, but you could do like the little mini bell peppers if you wanted, the little sweet ones. So you could do all the colors. You could do more red. You could do green. I mean, whatever you want to do. More of this is just because of it's kind of like the eye candy. So just looking at things and being able to say, oh, that's pretty. And all the colors are pretty together. Scrape all that out. Okay. Give it a quick stir. So you've got orange, you've got red, you've got green, you've kind of got a little bit of a light green. So really pretty colors that are going on right now. And that's what it's about. It's about, especially when you're doing plant-based food, and I think it's like any food, the prettier you make it, the more people want to eat it. And the more that they're just going to like just keep devouring it. Then we've got red onion. If you don't like a lot of red onion, cut back on the recipe. But like I said, it is potent right now. The red onions are even more so than the white onions or yellow. So pretty. Got a little bit of that purple red onion in there. Okay. And then we're going to add some mint, which we'll do here in just a second. But let me pull this off so I don't dump this. And then since I had scallions already, I actually added some more. I cut up some more scallions so I can put that on top. So that'll go on top of the salad here. And this is another one that's really good that you could make up the day ahead of time. And then, you know, you could add the vinaigrette, everything else, or just make it up and leave the vinaigrette off and then have it the next day because then it's nice and chilled. So this is all room temperature now, the couscous, because I made it earlier. But it's definitely one that you could make it warm if you wanted to. So you could, like if it's, you know, maybe more in the winter, but you're like, oh gosh, I'm still craving like the tomatoes and that, you could keep the couscous warm and make it a very different flavor, or you could make it cold and keep it chilled in the fridge. So we're actually going to kind of make it room temperature today. So that's the third option. You just dump the couscous. I guess the little pillows of joy. All right, then you just do a nice little toss. Like I said, quinoa would work, millet works. I mean, you could do pretty much any grain, anything that you're looking for. It does not have to be a couscous. So you could rename it and say, instead of saying a plant-based couscous, could be a plant-based quinoa, all the different flavors. If you just get a little bit of a bundle of the couscous, just take your spoon, kind of smash it down a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, Mona was just saying, yep, got a hot one. So yeah, there's the onions right now. Like I said, I don't know if it's the red onions or some people call them purple onions. They are, like I said, they will, and I'm pretty adverse to like heat and crying and stuff with onions, but took me down the other night when I was cutting these up. I was like, whoa, okay, won't need as much. And it's almost like too, if you put too much in your salads or too much like on a burger or something like that, it almost like burns. That's how potent these things are right now. But yeah, farmers markets are wonderful, especially with all the fruit and things like that that are coming out. All right, so the fresh mint I'm also going to add. I'm going to add that towards the end because it's more of a decoration. I'm good with mint and drinks, not so good with mint and salads. So I'll tend to kind of just put a little bit on the top and do more of a like a chiffonade type of a cut, which I'll show you. So that is all ready to go. It doesn't have the vinaigrette or anything like that on it right now. And it doesn't have the scallions added in, but it's all ready to go. And this you could put right in the refrigerator and start letting it cool, or you could put the vinaigrette on it and start letting it cool, or make it hot, whatever you'd like to do. But I'll keep that off to the side. Here's the, don't need this anymore. All right, so I covered it with the plastic wrap because it's one of those ones that doesn't have plastic wrapped around it, and then the actual package. So I didn't want to have like really hard bread. Otherwise, it'd have been like what croutons we would have had. All right, so smells really good. Okay, so this is ready to go, but what I'm going to do first, let me put this down. I'm going to slice it open because I can either get just toast up the top and then flip it over and toast the bottom, but I kind of like to have a little bit in the middle toasted too. So I'm going to, I think I'll go ahead and chop it in half. So if we're looking at half, that's Jerry's half, no. Jerry's like, no. Let's see where it's about half. You get a tape measure out, but yeah. What do you think? Good? 80% is good enough. That's what they always say. All right, so I'm not gonna cut all the way through, so don't slice all the way through. And you're always gonna wanna have like either a bread knife or some type of a serrated knife, just makes it easier. Otherwise, if you have a regular knife, it tends to smush things down. Just gonna play with it a little bit, see how much you need to cut through. So you probably wanna leave about a half an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. The other thing that you can do is if you're like bread, kind of watching the bread intake and all those, the other thing you can do is you could actually come in here and rip out the bread that's on the interior of this and then toast it up. That way you get more of the actual lobster part of it than you do the bread. I'm going to leave it. I'm just kind of popping it a little bit. I'm going to leave it for this. That one. So I put that one on there. Do the next one. Kind of just pop it, just kind of back on the spine part of it, just pop it open a little bit. And then on the one I'm going to eat, I'm going to do exactly just like what I said. And you could keep the bread that you're pulling out and make croutons, which is really good. Or you could make a panzanella or those type of things. So I'm just taking a little bit out. There's not much bread because we're using more of a baguette versus some of the other like sub sandwiches. Just enough. Because by the time you end up like eating like this much of it, it's like there's so much bread and things like that. You're like, okay, I'm full. No more. Please, no more. That's all you need to do. If you don't want to get in your nails, just a spoon. Spoon works, knife. There we go. That's enough. Okay, let me get these in. Just put them side by side. Another way to keep it where, I'll just do it this way. I'll just keep it like this, open them up. Keep wanting to go closed on me. So watch them. So I'm just putting them in the oven. I'm putting them in a broiler. If you didn't want to use the broiler, you could use just the regular oven, 350, and then just kind of play with them. So I just, like I said, just enough to get them toasted. There we go. All right, so we got everything there. So then the salad, just watching my time. We're good on time. Like I said, it's pretty much other than, heating up your couscous, and you could have, if you had couscous or something else, like another grain, pretty much a no cook night. Or no heat up, cook, saute night, put it that way. Okay, so dressing. What I always do is pour on part of the dressing, mix it up, taste it, and see if you need to add more. Because there's a lot of times and stuff when you're making up recipes, even the recipes I do, you'll end up with a lot of different, you'll end up with like maybe half of your dressing left by the time you taste it. The nice thing about it too is by mixing it up and just really mixing it, you're going to get where you don't have all the dressing that's pooling at the bottom. But if you do the next day, mix it up. Nobody will notice. With the couscous, we may end up using all the dressing. Trying to get it worth not so much of the cucumber. That's good. We'll do the David Venable. Happy dance, happy dance. That's really good. It's fresh. You've got the crunch of the vegetables, which is really nice. So, if you want to have like some of the raw vegetables in your diet, this is a great way to do it. But then it has that kind of almost like that, like a agave lemon type of dressing that is not tart. I mean, you can make it more tart if you wanted to by putting some of the more of the lemon zest on it, but really good. So just because I like the dressing so much, I'm just going to add the rest. And then I'm going to make some more. So the reason why I was saying the flaxseed, I'm going to add some flaxseed to it. It makes it thicker. So when you grind it, so it's ground flaxseed. If you put like a tablespoon in your dressings, it'll make it really thick, which is really nice. And then if it gets too thick, when it's sitting in a mason jar or something like that, then you just, of course, add a little bit of water or something, and you've got this great dressing that you can keep. And I'd put it in like a mason jar like this. Even with the cucumber. Good. Good, good, good. Do a little bit more toasting. Like, come on, bread, cooperate with me. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. There we go. All right, let's plate. This will not last long in our house. It's really good. And some people will ask too, did you cut out the seeds in the cucumber? I did not. If you want less seeds, because a lot of your cucumbers and stuff will have seeds, you could always use the English cucumbers, but otherwise and stuff, once it gets into the salad like this, you're never going to notice. It smells good. It's like fresh lemon. Okay. So because I always have to take pictures because these all have to go into the cookbooks. Always got to bring up the colors. All right, so we've got a little bit of, let me just check this really quick. Doing good. We've got mint. And you could just do, like, if you're not a fan of mint, like me, or you just like it in drinks and things, you could just do a little mint like that. But I'm actually just going to do a little bit of a, so chiffonade is just take it where you've got your leaves and you roll it up like this. Usually you'll see basil done that. And then you just do nice little cuts. Is that Jerry's? Yes, yes, probably. That's Mona, thank you. This is Jerry. He would, truthfully, if I gave him this, he would eat this whole entire thing. No, he would eat this whole entire thing. Or he would carve off a little bit just so he had some for lunch tomorrow. He's really big about whatever I make is the next day having it for lunch. And it's funny, it's like a race to the refrigerator to make sure. So it's almost like sometimes lunch for him will start at 10:30. Because he's like, oh, got to have that, got to have this or make this up, and yeah, so it's his bowl. He said he'll give me a spoonful. All right, let me just check my. All right, we're good. Let me grab. Turn it off. Grab another. All right, I'll just put it right here. It's easier to get to. Nice toasty bread. So I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon on top. And what did I do with my microplane? Just a tad, just a couple. If you ever watch cooking shows, you'll usually see like the when they're doing like judging and things, they'll usually say, need more salt, needed more citrus. Those are the two things you usually hear. So no salt, so I get dinged for that, but definitely added the citrus. All right, let me show you this. Well, actually, I'll show you here in just a second. So let's get the sandwich going. Yum. All right, so then I have regular white plate. I have these little green and white check papers that usually you'll see like with burgers and things. So something just a little bit fun. So we've got the nice, it's all crunchy, toasty, smells warm, smells like it's been cooking. Oh, it's wonderful. I'm gonna grab a big spoon, make it a little easier for myself. And you could, if you wanted to add like avocado to it, those type of things, you could definitely do that. But I'm going to add just a little bit of the, no. But do you want plant-based mayo or not? Spoiled. Just a little on the bread, over on the right, not on the left. But another good way to get rid of the plant-based mayo when you make it up. I'll just do a little bit on both sides. You can always add more. Okay, spoon. It's not a real colorful dish, but it's good. Okay, that's pretty good. Get it on the hand. Oop, it's going to want to tilt on me. All right, you're going to go to the side like that. That's fine. Grab the other one real quick. Just in case Jerry grabs mine, he'll have plant-based mayo. You could also add like shredded lettuce. I mean, there's all kinds. You could do like the red leaf lettuce, which would be really pretty on this. So if you're making these up for a party or just yourself, having your own personal party, which I get. Cabbage, red cabbage would be really pretty. Coleslaw would be, yep. It's not traditional, but it all works. Okay, now. Scallions. Scallions are always good. If you're getting ready to serve something, it always makes it look pretty. Just gives you that freshness look. Okay. All right. Microgreens. These are they're pea shoots, so they're actually really good. Sunflower is probably my favorite. Even though I'm pulling the bottom of it off, that's just because I'm setting up the picture of it, but normally we just eat this whole thing. And you could get ones, you could get like radish flavored, so they're purple. There's so many different types of microgreens, and they're so good for you and your gut that you could add all the different colors and flavors. And there's a wasabi, and it does taste like wasabi. It's really good. But in the stores, you have to get those pretty much at farmers market. The stores, you're going to find pretty much pea, broccoli, the basics. One more. I lied. Okay. All right. So, around it, you could add like, if you had some different chips or you have vegetables, you could add some of the salad around it. But here, let me grab that off. Just add some microgreens down. All right, because I know Jerry will eat them. Okay, so there are our plant-based lobster rolls. Don't those look good? I'll turn it around just a little bit because you can see the bread, the toasting of the bread on the side. Yum. There. And on the other side, which is with it, gotta get my hands just heavy. I have Jerry's bowl of the plant-based couscous salad, which is delicious. So there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, if you make them, I'd love to see photos or let me know what you think. And if you added something to it, let me know. I always love hearing, it's like, oh, I added this to it, or I did the jackfruit, like what Mona was asking. It always makes it so good. And like I said, it's all about community. So it's making sure that, we're all sharing and we all figure out different things. Because, Mona, the jackfruit probably helps somebody else go, oh, I'm not real big on hearts of palm, or I can't find it in my market. So that's a great suggestion to be able to do that. So I hope you guys enjoy. I was trying to think what's coming up. Oh, we have dumplings. We have dumplings coming up. So we'll be making dumplings. And then after that is jambalaya. So we'll get that's through August, and then we'll start getting September, October in there, so you guys can see what we're doing for the holidays and coming up, which is sad to say because it doesn't feel like, September's around the corner. It's scary. Oh, where'd the summer go? All right, well, guys, love you guys. Talk to you soon. If you need anything, want any recipes, just let me know. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.